everybody. Welcome back to Rework It. Hi, Jesús. How's it going? Nice to have you
Hey,
here.
thank you. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for being here. It's always so exciting. I'm not 100% sure if we do have the chat on Behance or not. We're literally having a look and testing. But for whatever reason, if you cannot join the chat on Behance, all you have to do is to click on the video and then you see the little YouTube icon there. Click on the YouTube and the browser will open up and you'll be able to chat with us on YouTube. So we'll be able to say hi to every one of you.
Well,
And yeah.
I just want to let you know that I can see the chat on Behance.
Yay! Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jesus. So if you are on Behance, we're going to be able to see the chat. And Jesus, since you see the chat, why don't we say hi to whoever is there? Because I cannot see that yet.
Yeah, no problem. Sean is in the chat. Hey, Sean, good to see you. Sam, thank you so much for being here and helping out. We got General Kenobi, Anika, Frank. Awesome. Thank you so much. Andreas, thank you so much for being here. Everybody, it's good to see you. Let us know how you're doing. It's what's today? Wednesday already. Wow, the week is going by so fast. Let us know what you're up to. Let us know where you're watching from. Kladi is in Manchester in the UK, and I am in the San Francisco Bay Area. We would love to know where you're watching from.
Yes, and I'm just here, and I can finally see the chat as well. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jesus, for saying hi to everybody. Hi, Andreas, Frank, and everyone else. Sam, thank you so much for your amazing help. So I'm going to jump right into your screen so you can tell us a little bit more about Rework It, what do we do here, and how to submit and how to participate on Rework It.
Yeah, no problem. So as you guys know, this is Rework It. In case you don't know, this show is all about us taking your Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign files and reworking on them live on the stream so that we can give you some tips and tricks that can help you improve your projects. If you want to submit your work, make sure that you go into iamkladi.com/reworkit, iamkladi.com/reworkit. I'm sure that Sam will post the link in the chat in any moment. And that will take you into this page. And from this page, all you have to do is click on this button that says submit your design. When you click on that, you just have to go down the list here, put in your email, upload your file, name, your Behance profile, because we do want to feature you. Make sure that you do that because some people haven't been posting their Behance profiles, which I think is weird. We want to showcase your work. So make sure that you include your Behance profile. Data consent, which is very important, and let us know which app you have used in your project. Even if you use other apps, that's okay. Just let us know which of the apps you use that are on this list. And also let us know if you have any specific questions on the project that you submit. And yeah, that's what you need to do. iamkladi.com/reworkit. Make sure that you check it out. And thanks, Sam, for posting the link in the chat. I see that you did that already. Cool. But yeah, it's good to see everybody. I'm trying to see if there's General Kenobi says watching from a certain point of view. Is that the answer to the question of where are you watching from? I think last time that you were well, not the last time because I know you've done it a few times since then, but one of the times that you were hosting, I think I put in the chat that I was watching from Earth 616 or something like that. Comic book reference. Anyway, yeah, but why don't we get started with today's Photoshop rework? And I think I'll go first, and then Kladi will take over with a different artist. But the artist that I'm going to feature today is Manzir Kareem, and let me just copy his Behance and I'll put it in the chat, and then I'm sure Sam can make that into a clickable link. And what we're gonna do today is look at his work, and as you can see, he is a graphic designer, and he's got about 1 year work experience, and you can see some of the work that he has here, and he focuses a lot on advertisements. It looks like he does Facebook banners and things like that to promote restaurants, shoes, watches, and things like that. So we're gonna take one of the files that he sent in, actually this one here. We're gonna look at this file today, and I'm gonna give him some tips that I think will help him improve the design. So we'll see what you guys think. So let me open up Photoshop, and here it is. And just to make sure that I'm looking at the file as it came through, I'm gonna go into File, and I'm going, oh, there we go. I can't even click on Revert. So that means that it is exactly as it came through. And I'm going to double click on the hand tool to fit the image to screen. And this is obviously an advertisement for a restaurant, a pizzeria, it looks like. It really doesn't say much in terms of what the restaurant is, but we do see a pizza. And he's got this layer on top that I'm guessing is just like a merge layer. I'm not sure why he has it there, but I'll delete it because it's exactly the same as it's basically a flattened version of the combination of the layers below. So we don't need it in this case. And I'm just gonna click and drag on the eye icons. You guys knew that, right? Let me know in the chat if you knew that. If you click and drag down on the eye icons, you just disable all of them, or the ones that you click and drag over, and same thing to enable them. So let me know if you knew how to do that. And actually, I'm like, wait a minute, why isn't this working? There is something definitely going on with my Photoshop here, because it is not working. If you notice, the zoom tool is not working and the hand tool is not working. Nothing is working. So you know what? That happens sometimes. So I'm gonna try to close it up, and I'll try to come back in. I'll close Photoshop. And Kladi, you might want to switch over to your
Yeah,
screen.
of course. I'm on the landing page right now, and perhaps I was thinking what to show in the meantime.
Well, no worries. It'll take a second. Photoshop is already
Fantastic.
coming back up, and I'll let you know.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that happens sometimes for whatever reason. Photoshop starts acting a little weird, and if it does, just restart it, just like I did now. I'm back, and I'm just going to open up that same file, and we'll see what happens. There it is. And this time, if I disable there you go. See that? I'm disabling the layers, and it is working now. That was weird. But anyway, so what I was trying to say earlier is that there's a shortcut. I guess you can call it a shortcut. It's like a little quick way of enabling and disabling layers. Click and drag down the list like so. So I'm going to disable all of them just to see what we have here. I'll double click on a hand tool to fit the image to screen. And you can see that he created this cool background. And he did a really good job here. Monsieur did. He created this background just by stacking these layers. And notice that this layer, this texture, simply created by using a solid fill with a texture on the layer mask. Pretty cool, really cool idea. And then he had these overlays, again, stacking different layers with different blending modes and opacities. Really good job there. We have the main text layer here, the main image layer, and then buttons and a whole bunch of other more goodies. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the image, right? The main thing in this advert is the food, right? This is a pizzeria or a restaurant that sells pizza. And let's focus on that first. The first thing that I want to talk about is I noticed that he has this smart object. You can see the smart object here. And if you double click on it, what it is just a color fill layer with a circular mask to create that shape for the shadow. And I think this is actually somewhat inefficient because it takes a lot of work to, double click on it and edit the color if I wanted to. And also he created a Gaussian blur filter on this smart object. So I think this is actually bloating the file, making it larger with no real need. I don't think you need to do all this to get this effect. You can actually get it much simpler and easier by simply going into the elliptical tool here, clicking and dragging and creating an ellipse like so. And obviously I have black as my fill color, which I'm going to change in a moment, but I'll leave it black for now. And instead of blurring it with this adjustment layer, not an adjustment layer, with this shape layer, you can actually click on this little icon. You see this little icon here? If I click on that, I can see the mask for that particular object, and I can just feather it. And see, it's just the same effect, blurring it, right? And I don't have to create a smart object. I don't have to do a Gaussian blur. It's much more efficient, and I get exactly the same result. And I can just put this here like he had it, more or less, something like that. And I can now double click on it and change the color if I need to. What I like to do with shadows is I like to select the color of the surface that the object is sitting on. And just from the brightness, click on brightness. This is what this B represents, and just reduce it. See that? Just to have a little bit of color in there, because shadows are not really black. And I can also change the blending mode to multiply, and that'll give me a much better shadow. And I could also press Control T on Windows, Command T on the Mac to transform, and I can just distort it by right clicking and selecting distort, and then just making it work and fit within the image. So I think that works much better than creating a smart object out of a solid color fill layer and then creating a layer mask and then applying a Gaussian blur filter. It's just too many steps to get the same result, and it requires a lot more work to edit it. So let me know in the chat what you think, if you think this is a much better and efficient way of working with the shadows. At
And
least
talking
for
of
some.
shadows, so sorry to interrupt you, but I wanted to say hi to Gus that has been joining us, and
Oh,
of
we
course
got Gus, the
Frank.
man in the house. Nice.
Yes, Gaspar in the house, and of course Viola. Thank you so much for always being here with us,
Yeah.
and Sean and Andres. Super cool. Sorry
Yeah.
for that, but I wanted to say hi.
Yeah, definitely. Gus, Paco, and I still need to go play soccer because I know that Gus and Paco were playing soccer at one point, and I've always wanted to come out with them, but I never had an opportunity to. So maybe after this whole pandemic thing is over, we can get together for some soccer. But anyway, so the image here that holds the pizza, I think we can actually improve on this. If you look at this ad, there's the main thing here is the food, right? And I feel that the pizza is so tiny and there's so much space that, you know, if this is an ad like on a website or on Facebook or like on a banner ad or something like that, you really want to catch the attention of your viewer with your product. And in this case, the pizza, I feel it's too small. So what I would do instead is just, you know, make it larger, you know, make it stand out. Like I would take advantage of all that space. Like why have all that space if, you know, the thing that you want to sell is so tiny? So I would just make it larger and you know, make it look as beautiful as possible.
Usually they say
Also,
content is king. In this case, pizza is king.
pizza is definitely king. Let us know what your favorite kind of pizza is. Oh, actually, here's a good question. Pineapple or no pineapple on your pizza? What about you, Kladi?
Hey,
Pineapple
I'm
or
in
no pineapple?
Italian, and that's like the worst swearing possible that you can that
that's
you can
that's
use. That's no. In Italy, we don't do pineapple on pizza. Although, and that's just a secret between just me and you, Jesus, because nobody is hearing or watching this, I'm sure. But I do actually enjoy it here and there.
Oh my God. I don't like pineapple on my pizza. But anyway, we
You're a
have
pepperoni.
well, yeah, I like a lot of pepperoni on my pizza. Um, so something else that you can do to make your product, in this case, your pizza, look a little nicer is to use Camera Raw and just enhance it a little bit. So you can go into Filter, Camera Raw, Filter, and you can just warm it up a little bit. See, just warm up the pizza a little bit just by increasing the temperature. Maybe bring out the texture in the pizza a bit. Increase the vibrance, which is which increases saturation, but it protects already highly saturated pixels and skin tones. And actually, I just got an email from somebody asking me, telling me, or not even asking, telling me that they had seen in a YouTube video that vibrance controls the midtones. I'm not sure whose video that was or where they saw that, but I had a long conversation with somebody online because vibrance does not control midtones. It's all about the saturation and the saturated pixels. But anyway, so increase vibrance and saturation. Increase vibrance to increase saturation and pixels that are not highly saturated, and it will protect skin tones. And in this case, I think that'll be good enough. But actually, you know what? Never mind. I'll add just a little bit more of sharpening, and there we go. Press OK. And now the pizza looks, you know, just a little bit better. There we go. And it looks like people are talking about the pineapple in pizza. Pineapple and ham equals delicious, according to Marcin. Andrea says, no way, no pineapple. But yeah, so now that we have the pizza and it's looking fantastic, what I want to talk about is something very, very important. First of all, notice that this whole time I've been working on this image at full screen. In other words, I made the image fit my screen. But what is the actual size of this image? Well, if I double click on the zoom tool, we'll see the 100% view. And notice how small this image actually is. And I think that you can already tell what one of the problems is. Look at how tiny the text is here. And I'll enable all the layers so you can see. I think that if you're gonna have an ad that is this small, you cannot have text that is, you know, 2 points. See that? The text here is 2 points, way too tiny for anyone to read, especially a paragraph like that, especially yellow on white. So I definitely would recommend against that. If anything, the smallest I would make something like this would probably be 10 points. And I probably, would even make it regular or medium if it's going to be up against a yellow background, white up against a yellow background. So obviously, you can't put that much text, but that's okay because you really can't fit all that text in such a small space if you want people to read it and keep it legible. Also, you used line text. I would consider a paragraph text instead. So you can right click on a layer and you can convert it to paragraph text. See that? Convert to paragraph text. So now is this text box and you can just, move it accordingly so that it fits. And, I know the text looks huge, but it's legible. Maybe you can even, I don't know, 7 is still kind of, yeah, I probably wouldn't go to 7. I mean, I guess 7 is like the absolute smallest I would go maybe. But the point is that you don't want to have text that is difficult to read because you're trying to grab somebody's attention. You're trying to get them to click on your ad. You're trying to sell something. And if you have a paragraph that nobody could read, then I don't know why you would do that. But anyway, so I would definitely keep the text legible. Also, another very important thing in here, notice that Monzier had the phone. Look how tiny that phone number is. It's super, super tiny. Like, I don't think anybody will ever, see that phone number there. See that? This is the ad at 100%. So people who are browsing online, they're not going to zoom in to try to figure out what that phone number is. So what I would do is I would make the phone number probably like the most legible thing on here. So oops, that was not what I wanted to do. Let me figure out where that phone number is. It's not in the main text. Let me see.
And in the meantime, Jesus, I just wanted to add a point, which is just for general knowledge. In terms of accessibility, the advised point is 16. And I understand that with this ad is, there's way too much text, but I just think that it's good to know that the general rule for accessibility is 16 points.
There you go. And see, right now he's using 2.26. So very, very small. So for the phone number, I would actually make this, like I said, the most, oops, that's the website, but let me undo that. I thought oh, here we go. Contact. Yeah, this is the phone number. So for the phone number, I would make that, like the most noticeable thing on here and, maybe place it somewhere else. Maybe this is a little too big, right? But I think you get the idea that the phone number should be really, really noticeable somewhere. And this is probably the worst design in the world, but there it is. Actually, you know what? This is actually a little bit advanced and I have a video on it if you want to learn more about it. But what I just did there, and I don't know if you caught it, I pressed Control-T, Command-T to transform to scale the text layer. You don't want to do that. You don't want to scale text by pressing Control-T, Command-T to transform if you're using paragraph styles in Photoshop, because there's something going on with the transformation and the way it reads the paragraph style that it doesn't make it work properly. It creates a glitch. Basically, it apply whatever. So if you have text and you reduce it down by 50%, whatever the paragraph style is will also have a 50% reduction applied to it. So two layers will not look the same if one was transformed by hand and the other one just by selecting the font size. So if you're working with text and paragraph styles, do not transform it by pressing Control-T, Command-T to transform. And actually, since I'm talking about it, I'm going to find the video really quick here on my YouTube channel, and I'll paste the link to it in the description, because it's really, 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 really important if you are working with paragraph styles. And I guess I'll just quickly show you guys what I'm talking about here. So this is the video, the one that has a big stop sign that says stop, don't scale text layers, that one right there. I'm going to paste the link to it in the chat as well, just in case you want to like really go in there and see what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's a thing with Photoshop and scaling text layers and applying paragraph styles, but I just wanted to give you guys that warning. But anyway, so the point is that I would have my phone number, like as visible and noticeable as possible. And I probably wouldn't use white because I want the phone number to stand out more than anything else. In this case, why is this white? I don't know. I'm not sure how he made it white. He probably applied, let's see, is it a, it's not a layer style. Let me just drag it out. It's probably like a
some effect on top taking
an effect
over.
on something. Yeah, but I'll go the easy way and just drag it out, and then I would do something that really stands out, maybe red or something like that, so that the phone number is visible. Obviously work on the design a little bit better, but do that. If you're working on an ad that doesn't have a phone number, but it has a call to action, in this case order now, maybe this is like a button for somebody to order now, I would do the same thing. I would make sure that that call to action, whatever it is the one that stands out the most. So under this folder you have a button, so just change that to a different color. So what would stand out here more than anything? Maybe blue, since it's the like the opposite of yellow, I don't know, something like that. And then change the font color to white or something. But the point is that it needs to stand out. And again, I would make it bigger because that's way too tiny. And
the famous big blue button that we always talk about, the creative challenges.
Right. But the point is that when you're working with things like this, you need to make sure that things are legible. Always view it at 100%. So double click on the zoom tool or right click on it and select 100%, because if you're working at 200% or you're working on fit to screen, then that will be very misleading, because when somebody's looking at it on their screen, it's going to look like that. So the small details that you can see when they're magnified 500%, they won't be visible when they're so small. Again, the phone number that was down here and the website, extremely difficult to see. Also, this is just me. I know some people like it, but I don't like to include the www on websites. I like to just do the, like the web.com or whatever.com, because I feel that it saves me some space and I can make the text larger so that the website is more most visible. And these days, I would say just about every website, you don't need to put in the www dot, for it to work. The pizza is making me hungry, says Alexandra. I agree with you. Yeah, so this is these are the things that I would recommend. Also something, I mean, small, but, and that's the issue, it's small. There's a discount. I don't know if you guys even caught that right here. See that discount? It's this tiny little thing. So it's supposed to let people know that we have a 50% discount on pizza. But again, look how tiny that, even in the scaled up version, it's really difficult to see. See this? So if you're going to have anything like that that's showcasing a feature or benefit of your product, in this case a discount, then it also needs to be noticeable so that people know that the thing is on sale, or whatever the benefit is. So when it's so small, you can't even see it. Again, even in the magnified version, it's really, really tiny. And look how small that looks in the regular version, like in the way it should be. You can't even see it at all. It completely disappears into the yellow background. So you really have to keep an eye out for those things. Also, you Manzir typed the word delicious back here in like really faint outline. If you're gonna go for something like that, I would make it just a little more obvious, maybe not extremely obvious, because it kind of looks cool that it's kind of hiding in the background. I get it, but at the same time, I would probably just make it just a little more noticeable that there's the word delicious is back there. If you're gonna have it, just make it more noticeable. So something like that. So I guess that the whole point for this particular rework, it is, number one, always look at how your image will output. We talked about it before with, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the artist, but a couple weeks ago we did a rework it where I reworked on a YouTube thumbnail. And my advice to the artist was, don't look at it at the 1920 by 1080 like full screen view. Like actually zoom out and see what it looks like to the people that are going to be viewing the thumbnail, and that'll give you a better representation of what your work will look like to the public, and you can better create a design that will serve your purposes, whether it's to have someone click on a video, or in this case to make a phone call or click on a order button so they could order pizza. So I would say that that's the most important thing. Be aware of where the image is going to end up and try to view it in that particular setting. If possible, you could also send the image to your phone and see it on your phone and see how that looks like when it's smaller on a smaller screen as well. That's a good idea too. That's a good thing to do as well. So yeah, those are the things that I wanted to mention for Manzir, and I hope that they're beneficial to him, his work, and obviously to you as well that you're watching us today.
I think it was absolutely amazing, Jesus. The improvement is really, really great. The difference is huge. I was there in the chat, so I'm so sorry. I don't know if you showed like the full before and after,
Oh,
like you usually
we
do.
can do that. We can do that now. This is what I usually do. I usually go into Window, History, and then I take a little picture, which is the snapshot. You see a little camera down here, and then I scroll to the top, and you can see the original. And actually, let me move the history panel so we can see it better. Original, and the one that was reworked, and you can see. I mean, let us know what you guys think. And I was, and I didn't even really spend too much time like working on the smaller elements, but I think just by making two really big changes, making the pizza larger so that it's noticeable, and also making the order button pop, I think that it just makes it a much better ad. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. And also let's view it at 100% so we can be even more fair. So this is what somebody would see on a website or, something like that. Even smaller if they're on a phone probably, but before and after. So let us know what you think in the chat. And to be frank with you, at this point, I would also remove the Facebook, Instagram, and all that stuff, because like in my opinion, it's irrelevant on an ad like this where you want them to order. And you're saying, I noticed that it says, like Facebook, Instagram, all this other stuff, but there's no like at. So like, where am I gonna at you at? So like, where am I gonna add the account to this place? You only have the Facebook and Instagram logos, but no like, no handle. So I don't think they're necessary. And I would again I wouldn't do more than 2 calls to action on a banner. One is ideal, and I know in some cases you might want to have a phone number in there as well, but usually just 1 call to action is what you want to do, just so that people have one choice, and then that's what they make, and hopefully you sell more pizzas.
And
by the way, this is coming from an experienced pizza salesman. My first job ever was working at Little Caesars Pizza. So
That's super cool. And I also think, as soon as you were pointing out, to just have 1 call of action. If you remove the entire line with the Facebook and everything that is going on at the bottom, it just leaves more breathing space for the actual button. So it just really allowed the eyes to focus on there and really makes it stand out. The only thing that perhaps it just, still, my lecturer used to say, like, poke my eye, is the little logo there. I don't even know if
this one here,
that. The one on the corner, like
this one up here.
No, if you see on the other opposite
left
corner,
or right, on the left side.
Yes, it says my logo here. Sorry, it's so small.
Yeah.
I cannot really see because it's.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely will get rid of that as well. I mean, I can understand why you might want to have your logo there for the restaurant, but like I don't think is needed. See, like the way that I would keep, because I wanted to give you your time, and I know like we're over my time now, but there's more stuff I would have done. I would have adjusted the spacing a little bit. You kind of saw me do that just a few moments ago while you were talking, and then maybe readjust the design elements so that they fit in the new design with the larger pizza, because you can see that some of these things are going over the pizza. I would get rid of the discount. Like, I don't think it's needed. And if we're going to have it, we're going to completely redesign it so that it fits the new design and so that it's legible. But yeah, there's a couple of things that we need to move around. And you're right. I would have the logo, or I know this is more like a template for him, so I can understand why you put that logo here, but I still wouldn't probably wouldn't use, if I used it, it probably wouldn't be in that corner.
And exactly on the same topic, Alexandra was talking about type hierarchy, which I think it fits exactly what Jesus was saying. You need to understand, first of all, what you're selling. Are you selling the pizza? You're promoting the restaurant? Are you selling a discount? And then you can adjust the type and the structure. So
I just read in the chat that, oh my god, I just lost it. Who said it? Oh, Sean Shad said, "Cool Max shirt." Yeah, I was trying to think, where did I get this one? This is my, okay, so this is 2017. So this shirt right here is my first Adobe Max speaker shirt. I think 2017 was my first year speaking at Max. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. And that's a funny story because I overslept and I missed my plane to LA, and I felt like I was mortified because I woke up after my nap, like when I woke up after my nap, I should had already landed in San Diego, not LA. I'm sorry, in San Diego. And the reason that happened is because I was working on my Make a Masterpiece campaign for Adobe, and I worked. It was due at max, and I just worked on it to the last possible moment. And I thought to myself, I'm going to take a 1 hour nap, and then I'm going to go to the airport. And then I overslept, and I woke up after my plane landed in San Diego. And as you can imagine, I was mortified.
But then you made it.
Oh yeah, I freaking went to the airport, and I was freaking out, and like I was telling the person at the airport, please just get me into whatever flight. I'll pay whatever you want. Just get me
You
to
were pushing the
San
plane.
Diego. Yeah, I was like, I'll get there with, it doesn't matter. Just get me to LA right now. Luckily, it was no problem, but I mean, it wasn't expensive either. But I was still like, I need to get there.
And talking about Adobe Max, Jesus, what I'm gonna keep on your screen. So if you don't mind, just we can do like a little route from your Instagram, so you can also share with everybody your Instagram where they can find you and your links and your tutorial. And I wanted to mention, because I woke up this morning pretty excited because I noticed that I was featured on the Adobe Creative Cloud for my Max session. So I thought, since we were talking about...
Is it on the Creative Cloud page, or where can I find it?
Yeah, if you head on the Adobe Creative Cloud page in their stories, you should be able to see that.
Oh yeah, I see it. All right,
or
so
on my stories as well. So.
All right, so in the in the Adobe Creative Cloud account,
yeah.
If you go into the stories, look at that. Kladi is being featured by the Adobe Creative Cloud Instagram page. How amazing!
And actually,
and if you want to follow Kladi, you are at I am Kladi, I believe.
Yeah.
I am Kladi. There she is, and make sure to follow her. And I am at JR from PTC, and you can follow me there.
Fantastic. So super cool. And I also uploaded a little preview of the class, which I think also connect with the rework it that we were doing today, because it's all about creative branded social media. So a lot to do with what no, on my post. That's my silly face there. If you just head to my post.
Oh, on this one?
Yeah, the one there.
Okay, so that's you talking about your session?
Yes, correct. And
awesome.
It relates to the exact topic that we were that you were just going over today regarding the social media post. So I think that's a good connection. You can go and check it out, and of course it's for free. You can find it on my Linktree. Oh, stop playing. I can still see my face playing again. Anyway, so yeah, let's jump into Illustrator. Jesús, thank you so much. That was so useful. I learned as usual from you. That's the beauty of Adobe Live and Rework It. We all learn. I learn all the time as well. And I'm going to jump into my screen right now because we're going to be talking about a couple things, in particular Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Fonts. And of course, that's the artist, which is from Israel, that I'm going to feature today in Illustrator. So his Behance is called Roy Shilon, which I am not entirely sure if it means something specific, although his name is Lance. So the person that, and you know, another reason why I know that his name is Lance is because we're actually going to be working on his brand identity. So Lance Oppenheimer, as a graphic designer, we can see it here on the screen. That's the actual work that we're going to rework it. It really caught my eye with these little magic whimsical illustrations, very simple elements, but a very beautiful palette there. And as you can see, I'm just going to go back in the chat because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. RB is making RB is always, I love this chat. It's always super fun. RB says, Kladi, don't jump into your screen, you're gonna break it. Yes, absolutely. I completely agree. And I can see Wade in the chat. Hi Wade, thank you so much for joining us. And also my son is there, Valdoir. I was saying before, I'm glad that my parents aren't there, otherwise they were gonna get a little scared about all these mother and son, because as soon as Valdoir came in, it was like, I mother. And the reason why we're just gonna reveal this little, so we all make sure that we're on the same page. Me and Valdair were chatting, and we found out that Valdair and his mom were born in the same month, and actually me and his mom in particular share the same birthday. So therefore, the assumption was made that I'm his mother.
I'm assuming not in the same year.
Well, that doesn't really matter. We didn't go that deep in the conversation. We just, draw our conclusion that I'm Valdair's mother, and we were all happy with that. So we're gonna leave it like that. But I just wanted to give a little bit of context about all this son and mother conversation going on. Right, so let's jump back into Illustrator after all this silliness, which is always good. And as you can see, the first thing that you can notice is that we have some text which is overlaid with a pink color, and that usually happens when the Illustrator doesn't find the file, the text in the machine. And the reason why it doesn't find the text is because it's not updated into my font libraries. And if I go over the properties panel under character, I have a name of the font family, but I'm not even sure if that's actually part of the Adobe fonts, and it looks like it's not. Therefore, how am I gonna spend time to look all through my library or through Adobe font to see if I match the font? That will require a lot of time, and probably not gonna even end up find the correct font. So another way of doing that is to take a photo of your font, and you can do that with your phone. You can do that with your screenshot, and I mention your phone because you can use exactly the same feature that I'm going to mention to you with Adobe Capture, which is a mobile app and integrated services in apps like Photoshop as well. Or what you can do is perhaps just isolate the text, because I know that some people, mainly if you're on a PC, maybe you don't know how to do a screenshot. So what I'm going to do here is just to grab the text and then hold the Option key and move it. And in this case, I'm going to create a new artboard with the text, and then I'm going to use the shortcut Option Command E in order to open the export for screen, and I'm going to make sure to export just the artboard that select the text, and I'm going to deselect all the other one. I believe that there is a shortcut which is Alt Command and click on the actual element in order to isolate and select. Shift, not Command. So if you click on and hold on Shift and click on the artboard that you want to select, all the other one will be deselected, and only the one that you're clicking on will be selected. And after that, all you have to do is to select your destination folder. I'm going to export it to my desktop, and you can make sure that it's a PNG or JPEG. It's fine. Then export your artboard, and once you exported your artboard, is now sitting there on your desktop. You can do a screenshot, it's absolutely fine. We just need a photo, an image of the actual font. Now we're gonna head into fonts.adobe.com, and I'm gonna click here on the very top search bar. If you see at the right side of the search bar, there is an upload photo or scan similar type. And that's exactly what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna click on the little camera, and then I'm gonna go ahead and search the little image that I created and click on open in order to upload it. And as you can see, we have fonts.adobe.com that is scanning the actual font and is letting me know, hey, is that the line that you want to analyze? And the reason why it's doing that is because sometimes when you take a screenshot, you might have an image and a text overlapping. So with these little dots, you will be able to pretty much create a bounding box, like when you're working with any selection in InDesign, Illustrator, or Photoshop, and you'll be able to modify the selection. So let's say that there was an image. We can literally crop and isolate the text that we want fonts.adobe.com to research and to focus on. Once you can confirm that that's the region that you want to analyze, then it's going to give you a translation of the text, just to double check, because sometimes it can be tricky with ligature, with certain particular text. Letter can be weird. So fonts is there asking you, hey, is that what is the text saying? Am I getting that right? Am I reading that right? And of course, in this case, it's perfect. The font is quite legible. So I'm just going to go ahead and confirm by clicking on next step, and boom, right away we got the results. So fonts.adobe.com is already offering us a way to upload very similar, if not exactly the same fonts At the moment, I already have this font activated just because I was try and give it a go. But otherwise, if it's deactivated and is not part of your library, in just one click, you can slide and activate it. And the font activation is successful right away. And that means that the font has been updated in your Creative Cloud and therefore available throughout your apps. Whenever you type some text and you want to apply the font, now we know that we have this abolition regular. And if perhaps you're looking for something similar, but not necessarily that, it still gives you option to find similar fonts of a similar family. So as you can see, if I keep scrolling down, I have fonts that have the similar feel. So they are display font, they are quite tall, and they preserve certain characteristic of the font that we're analyzing, although they also offer some little differences. So you have a lot of opportunity there. Perhaps I'm gonna activate also this Franklin Gothic, because I think that could be a great way to compare perhaps different fonts in our work. Fantastic. And now all you got to do is to jump back into Illustrator. The font is there available for you to use. And if we do go ahead and click, the font is called Abolition. And now I'm going to click on an Alt option on a Mac and Alt on a window and double click on the text to see if I can also bring back this ITC Franklin Gothic that we have just also updated. Here it is, Franklin Gothic, and here it is. And by the way, you don't have to go through fonts.adobe.com in order to activate your fonts. The option is always available there for you from the character panel. And I just want to mention that. So if perhaps I'm going to move that onto the artboard so you can actually see, otherwise there wasn't enough contrast. So I'm going to create a copy, because let's say that we're exploring and looking for new font. Do you have to go back to fonts.adobe.com? Nope, you can do that directly into Illustrator by browsing inside your character panel. So I'm going to head back to my properties panel, click where it says character and select this little down pointing arrow to set the font family and click on find more in order to activate the Adobe fonts. Now, as you can see, it's going to take a second in order to update. There's a lot going on. I'm streaming, so perhaps internet is catching up. I'm gonna wait another second to see if you show up. Here it is, fantastic. So as you can see here, all you have to do, you can hover on the text, and because our text was selected, and Jesus, if you don't mind pointing out, because it's just above your head right there, the font preview is changing as I scroll. Yep, as I scroll on top of it, that font is already giving me a preview of the fonts, even if they're not updated in my on my machine. And I'm going to zoom in for you to show you the difference from an active font and non an active font. So a font that is active will display the little cloud with a tick. That means that the font is part of my library. A font that just has a cloud, it means that it's there in the cloud, but it's not activated on my computer. So just I have to click on it in order to activate it, and that will happen immediately. I'm going to click just to see how to do that. And of course, it's going to give it a little time. So you got this double arrow, meaning that Illustrator is chatting now with the cloud, and then will display a tick once it's activated. You can also deactivate it by clicking on the little X, and that will be deactivated. Right. So that was a little bit of a geeking around fonts, and now that we got that out of the way, we can start to concentrate on the rework on the actual piece here. So we can see that there are different things happening. I kind of really like this rainbow that is created with a little wobbly. It just gives a little really relaxing feeling, and also the color palette, which is quite pastel, it already gives me an idea of what Lens approach to design is, which is super cool. And Lens, very well done, because it's very important in order to represent yourself. I would say that you have done a very good job in terms of creating different size. It's very important to have flexibility on the way that you display your font. And I got a treat coming for you, but I'm gonna keep working on Lens work first, and then I'm gonna show you a way that you can display all these different assets very easily. So something that I was thinking is, first of all, how do we get to play with this amazing illustration that is created? So I'm gonna go ahead and press Shift O in order to access the artboard tool, and hold Option and select the one of the artboard in order to create copies of them, so I can start to modify the artboards and create copies without necessarily interfering with the work that Lens has created there. The first thing that I will do, starting with the square option, we have the face that is very, very tiny. compared to the negative space, which is fine. But if you want to go into such a minimalistic look, why not to perhaps just sort of use the reference of the of the eyes and the mouth. So what I'm doing here, I'm actually completely removing the face, the shape of the face, and I'm just leaving the eye, the nose, and the mouth, really to give a very minimalistic look. And that will allow me to make it also bigger. So look at that, in just few clicks. It's pretty much is the same design, is exactly what Lenses created, but it will just give me you will use the actual frame, which can be a square if you're perhaps on Facebook, or it will be then turned into a circle if you're using it for an avatar for your Instagram. It will use the background as the actual face, so you don't need two different backgrounds to layer with the other feature with your eyes and with the nose and the mouth. The actual background of the image will act as a face itself. So that was one of the biggest approach that I wanted to implement. And another way was to also maybe use a shape which will be the mouth, because it is almost like a straight line, and the font is also pretty straight. So what I'm going to try and do here is to create a copy on the font, use the shortcut Shift Command O in order to outline it, so we make sure that it's just a shape right now. And I'm going to bring it up into the shape and sort of substitute the positioning of where the mouth is. So what we're doing here, we're still retaining the same elements of the illustration, but we are substituting one element, which is the mouth, with the name. In this case, we're going to be integrating the text and using the text as part of the imagery. And at the same time, we're going to convey the same image, but we're also giving an element of legibility and also of content, which is the name of the designer. And that's a very minimalistic approach to the design. But again, that was my approach for reworking this particular piece. Or you can keep it as it was and then just use the name on the side there. Another way was to really leverage these amazing illustrations. I really feel, especially in this particular version, that everything is kind of piled up one on top of the other, every element. So we have the illustration, the text, and then the graphic design. So definitely allowing breathing space. And again, I'm going to do the same here by changing the color of the and I'm gonna just use the eyedropper tool to use the same color or the same pink that Lens has used before. Let me just create a copy, because I always, I don't know about you, Sus, but I always make copies of everything. I'm always quite scared of losing pieces here and there, so I always try my best to make copies of things. So I keep my elements there. So here we go.
Let me stop you for 1 second. Yep. Noor saying in the chat, I'm watching Kladi and I can't stop singing I'm Blue, the Budita Budai song in my head. Am I normal? That's the question.
Well, I'm all blue, so absolutely, yes. So again, what I'm doing here is to allowing a little bit of space, maybe using the graphic designer next to the illustration, and we can make it even a little bit bigger so it matches the same size of the entire name text, and we can use the image there next to graphic design. And again, we have a different way of creating. Perhaps this is a business card, or this is a different way of reshaping it. Or if we want to keep the same sort of hierarchy that Lens was using there, so first the name and then graphic design, I will definitely allow some breathing space in there. And you can use this little face as in different scenarios. Something that I really enjoy doing is to try and use element almost like cropped. So perhaps something that I've done in the past as well is to create, and I'm going to duplicate here the artboard so you can see what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this element from this artboard. I'm going to put these, and I'm thinking as if this is a business card, you know, so one artboard will be the front and one artboard will be the back. So what I'm doing here is selecting the actual illustration piece and breaking it in between the two business card. So you do have continuity, and maybe here, you know, we can put, you know, I'm just going to phone number, I'm going to do 0000, and then on the other line we can do email at website.com. And of course, I'm gonna bring down the text. Maybe a 30 will do. So what I'm trying to say is that there is a way that you can really use any part of this illustration in a more extended way. It doesn't necessarily have to be cramped everything in one space. They're very beautiful elements. I think that they communicate so much, and it's so beautiful to be able to share them. I'll probably, because tomorrow we're going to be live again, I'm going to create a mock-up of this business card, because I really wanted to show you how does it look like when you create this double effect of having a design that is broken between the front and the back. And I know that we have just a few minutes before we go, so I promised that I was going to share something, and I'm going to go back into probably the best way is to go into my website here. So when I was talking about displaying your work, is something that you can find there, and in particular by your personal branding, is the branding bundle. I've gathered so many files that I've created during the amazing Adobe Live that I've done since the beginning here, and I've created so many templates which are now made available for use, and one of them which will be specifically tailored for this kind of job is the stage 1 or the stage 2, where you can get the full logo development space and also a way of comparing the logo. So you actually have a template that will allow you to display all these different settings. I'm probably going to use it tomorrow and prep some files so I can actually show how to use it, but you can get it here. You can get it, email it to you completely for free. It's stuff that I created here during Adobe Live, so I'm very, very happy to share with you, and maybe we can see them in action as well with Lens. And again, try to implement, and you can do exactly the same, and that could be a series, so you can use the face, and then in another series you can use the rainbow. I'm rushing here, and as usual when you rush I am misplacing things, so you can use the rainbow instead of the face, but the concept will be the same, having back and front of your business card, and then having the image connecting. So whenever you flip the business card, you actually have a relation between the front and the back. And usually when I've done that in the past, people keep flipping and keep looking at the business card, and the most important thing is that they look at it for so long, much longer, that they will remember it, rather than just keep it and put it in their pocket and they even forgot that they have it. So those little tricks really allow you to become a little bit more memorable and to give a different feel and different look to your marketing material. So
That's
I think
right.
we are pretty much at time.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Also-
remind. Sorry, Sue?
Oh no, I just want to throw a shout out. I see that we have Tom Larock saying good morning from sunny Miami Beach. Hi Kladi, hi Jesus.
Fantastic. Hello, everybody. And Tonk, finally Chad is back with my favorite streamer. That you're so sweet. Thank you so much for your comment. Also Noor. And I wanted to mention that I will be live in a little bit. I'm not sure how long. Time is not a thing anymore since we're all in the
Well,
house.
we have Kathleen Martin coming up next, I believe, doing the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge.
Oh,
if I'm not
yes,
mistaken.
yes, you're correct. So there is the amazing Kathleen Martin coming after us, and then Rob Zilla doing one of his mind-blowing illustration in fresco. I'm a massive fan of Rob Zilla. Go and check it out. And then Paul Trani with the Daily Creative Challenge in Illustrator, and then Kieran Lewis, which I will be hosting for the second day. We're also going to be live tomorrow building a booklet about bats, which was quite fun. And then the amazing Howard Pinsky and Kyle Webster and so on. As usual, is a fantastic busy day here at Adobe Live. Don't forget to
And
submit
make sure
your
you
work.
submit. Yep, there you go.
Go ahead, Asus. I'm going to let you, if you want to show it, I'm going to go to your
you-
website, to your
Oh wait,
screen.
I'm not ready. Let's see.
It's all right. We got one more minute.
Oh great. Here we go. You can switch over. The website is iamkladi.com/reworkit, and make sure you click on this button that says submit your designs. Go there now before you forget. Make sure that you submit your Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator files, and obviously click on the submit button and answer all the questions. So make sure you do that now before you forget, and then come right back so you can check out Kathleen Martin doing a Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge.
Yes, submit. We're really eager to get your work. Fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Sam, in the chat. Amazing to be with you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you,
Bye.
everybody. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.